Hello students, welcome to my channel VK Voice again. In the second part of this chapter, student, I will start with the topic respiration. What is respiration, students? You know that the glucose which is synthesized by the animal and plant just combined with the oxygen from the air, and it just gives you carbon dioxide and water, and during this process energy is generated which is there for the sustainment of the life of animals and plants. So this is known as the respiration. What happens in respiration? Glucose combines with the oxygen which is present in the air and gives you carbon dioxide and water, and energy is also generated which is there for the sustainment of life of animals and plants. So this is the respiration, and it is also a exothermic process. Next thing which I am going to discuss with you, student, that is the rusting of iron. What happens in the rusting of iron? You know, iron combined with the oxygen which is present in the air and get converted into iron oxide. This is also known as rust. So if someone asks you what is rust, rust is the oxide of iron, or you can say iron oxide. Its color is brownish red. You can see if you put something iron material in the air, after some time rusting takes place, brownish red color appears on that article. So that is there, and that is also a exothermic process, and it is not observable to you because this is a very slow process. That is why you people do not able to experience whether it is exothermic or not. Now next thing, next reaction which I am going to discuss with you is the examples of endothermic reaction. What are the examples of endothermic reaction, students? So first example is when nitrogen combined with oxygen to give you nitric oxide. This reaction takes place in the presence of electric spark only. If there is a spark, only then this reaction will take place. That means energy is absorbed in the form of spark. So energy is absorbed. So this is a endothermic reaction, students. So this is an endothermic reaction. Next is thermal decomposition of substances. And first of all, what is thermal decomposition? As I told you before also, student, you know, if the substance break down with the help of heat, then this is known as thermal decomposition. So thermal decomposition is breakdown of the substance with the help of heat. That is known as thermal decomposition. Few examples are there. For example, calcium carbonate. When decomposed, it gives you calcium oxide and carbon dioxide is there. So heat is absorbed during this process. Heat is there. You can see in the chemical reaction as well. Next is magnesium carbonate. When it decomposes, it also gives you magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide. This is also a endothermic process. Why? Because heat energy is absorbed over here. And one more thing, student, there are certain active metals like, you know, sodium carbonate is there and calcium carbonate is there. These are active metals. So in these, the oxidation, they do not decompose with the thermal decomposition. They are active metals, and the oxide of these metal, like you are having oxide of sodium, sodium oxide is there, sodium carbonate is there, or potassium carbonate is there. It do not decompose with the thermal decomposition. Next thing which I am going to discuss with you, student, is the photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? And one more thing, student, it is also an endothermic process. What is photosynthesis? In photosynthesis, what happens? Carbon dioxide combined with the moisture which is there, and it get converted into glucose. and this process also requires certain heat, because you know this reaction takes place in the presence of light only. So energy is absorbed in the form of light. Photosynthesis will not take place in dark, it always takes place in the presence of light. Why? Because heat energy is required, heat energy is absorbed during this process. So this process is also a endothermic process. So these are their student. Next thing student which I am going to discuss with you, that is the endothermic physical processes. What are endothermic physical processes? For you, for example, you know, when you are having ice, it melt. How it melts? You know, it melts by absorbing the heat from the surrounding. So this is a endothermic process. Similarly, when you heat the water, it get converted into steam. So the steam is generated only when you apply some heat, when you are supplying some heat. Heat is absorbed during this process. So this is also an endothermic process. Similarly, when you are having ammonium hydroxide, or you are having ammonium nitrate, or you are having glucose, when you mix it with water, then again you feel the coolness in the beaker in which this all mixture is there. It is also because some heat is absorbed from the surrounding, and that is why the beaker or the tube which is containing this water glucose or water ammonium or water ammonium nitrate, it becomes cool because it is a endothermic process. So these are the examples of endothermic process. Now I will discuss with you some common observation about the these endothermic and exothermic reaction. So first observation is there, exothermic reaction are more common than the endothermic reaction. Why it is there? You know, in case of exothermic reaction, you know, heat is not required. It is required only at the time of starting of the reaction. So that is why the exothermic reactions are more common as compared to endothermic reaction. Second observation is there, once the exothermic reactions are just started, they do not require any heat energy for the continuation of the reaction. Why it is there? Because when the reaction has started, then the energy is released which is used to sustain the reaction. So heat is generated which is used to sustain the reaction. Therefore, after the initiation, after the ignition of the reaction, the more heat is not required for the continuation of the reaction, because heat itself is generated during these reaction. But reverse is there in case of endothermic reaction, heat is always required even for the starting and for the continuation of the reaction. Heat is always required. For example, if there is no light, the photosynthesis will not take place. Similarly, in case of, as I told you, nitrogen combined with oxygen, one reaction was there. If you just stop the spark, in that case the oxidation reaction, that nitric oxide will not form. Why? Because energy is continuously required for the sustainment of that reaction. In case of endothermic reaction, energy is required for the continuation of the reaction, because energy is absorbed during that reaction. So that is there student, that is there. I hope up to this the concept is clear to you. Next thing student which I am going to discuss with you is the type of chemical reaction. There are various type of chemical reaction. You have combination reaction, you are having decomposition reaction, you are having displacement reaction, you are having double displacement reaction. So many type of reactions are there which I have already just shown on your screen. You can see these reaction. Now I will discuss all these reaction one by one. Let us start with the combination reaction. As the name suggests, combination, here two or more than two reactant combine together. Combination combine together to give you the product. For example, if you are having hydrogen and you are having oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen combine together and give you water. So hydrogen is there, oxygen is there, both combine together and give you water. So this is what type of reaction is this? This reaction is a combination reaction. Why? Because they are simply hydrogen and oxygen is combining and giving you the product water. Next reaction which is there, student, and that is carbon and oxygen is there. You know, carbon combined with oxygen and you get the carbon dioxide. Similarly, so many reactions are there. Sulfur is there, sulfur plus oxygen you are getting sulfur dioxide. So many reactions are there where simply combination, addition of the two reactant takes place and you get the product. Now I will discuss with you, student, the burning of carbon. Now what happens when the carbon burn? As I have already discussed with the help of equations, carbon plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide. Now we will prove actually the carbon dioxide get generated during this process. Now student, take some charcoal and put it in a flagrating spoon and burn it in a gas jar such a manner that it get a ample supply of oxygen. When all of the carbon, all of the charcoal get burned completely, cover the gas jar with the lid and then invert it and then place this jar in a trough containing lime water. You will see that lime water will rise in this gas jar and will turn milky. And you know, lime water can be turned milky with the help of what? With the help of carbon dioxide. It proves that the carbon dioxide is generated during this process. Similarly, the ignition of the magnesium ribbon is also there. Just ignite the magnesium ribbon in the glass jar. You will see that a white solid will deposit on the walls of the glass jar. This is nothing but magnesium oxide. So magnesium oxide is generated during this process. Similarly, the process of rusting is there. When you put something, suppose iron nail is there in moisture and air for some time, reddish brown crust is formed and this is known as rust, and the chemical formula of it is iron third, hydrated iron third oxide. Its formula is this, student, and the chemical equation as I have shown on your screen as well. You can see this, student. Now next thing which I am going to discuss with you, the combination of element with the chlorine. What happens when the element combined with the chlorine? You know, you are having sodium, it combined with chlorine, you get sodium chloride. And you are having iron, it combined with chlorine, you get iron third chloride. Similarly, you are having a hydrogen, it combined with chlorine, you get hydrogen chloride. Hydrochloric acid you can call it. So hydrogen chloride is there. Then you are having phosphorus and it combined with chlorine, you get phosphorus pentachloride. So that is there. In this way the chlorine get combined with the these elements, that is their, student. Next thing which I am going to discuss with you is the combination of iron with sulfur. What happens when the iron combined with sulfur? So iron combined with sulfur and you get iron second sulfide, FeS, iron second sulfide, and its color is grayish black. So a grayish black color is formed and this is known as iron second sulfide. That is their, student. Now next reaction which I am going to discuss with you, student, is the reaction of metal oxide and non-metal oxide with water. So first of all, a reaction of metal oxide with water. Now when metal oxide react with water, they form acids. Like you are having carbon dioxide, it react with water and you get carbonic acid. Similarly, you are having sulfur dioxide, it react with water and you get sulfurous acid. So that is there. Next, when the metal oxide react with water, they form hydroxides, and these are basics. For example, you are having calcium oxide, it react with water and you will be getting calcium hydroxide. Similarly, you are having sodium oxide, it react with water and you will be getting sodium hydroxide. All these are basic things. So you can check it also. If you put some blue litmus in the solution containing water containing carbon dioxide, the blue litmus will turn red. It will indicate that it is acidic. Similarly, if you put some red litmus in the solution containing calcium oxide and water, the blue litmus will get the red litmus will get blue. So this will indicate that these are basic substances. You can check whether the given substance is acidic or basic as well. So one more thing, student, if non-metal oxide combined with water, you get acid. If metal oxide combined with water, you get bases, and this is hydroxides. So hydroxides are bases. So that thing is there, student. Next thing which I am going to discuss with you is the decomposition reaction. What is decomposition reaction? Breakdown of a substance into simpler substances. So breakdown of one substance into simpler substances is known as decomposition reaction. Similarly, you can break down the substance with the help of electricity. So that is known as electrolysis. When a substance is decomposed into simpler substances with the help of electricity, this is known as electrolysis. So electrolysis is there. Now I will discuss with you the electrolysis of water. What happens when you decompose water with the help of electricity, that I am going to discuss with you. For that, you just take a beaker and put some water in it and put few drops of sulfuric acid, and then just dip 2 test tubes containing 2 electrode and pass the electric current through it. Then you will see that the gas will start generating in these 2 test tubes, and you will see in one test tube the gas is double as compared to other test tube, and that test tube which is getting double gas is connected with the negative electrode and the other is connected with the positive electrode. So double gas is hydrogen and the other side test tube is getting oxygen. This also indicates the hydrogen and oxygen ratio is 2:1, and all the setup I have shown in the diagram. You can see these, students, that is, and this reaction is very important reaction. Keep it in your mind. What happens in one tube, you will be getting hydrogen and its volume will be double as compared to the other tube which is containing oxygen. So hydrogen and oxygen is generated when electricity is passed through this solution. So this is electrolysis of water, decomposition of water with the help of electricity, and the whole apparatus I have shown in the screen as well, students. Now how you will prove that the one gas is hydrogen and other gas is oxygen? Very simple thing. First of all, bring a lighted matchstick near the tube which is containing one gas. The burning will take place with pop-up sound, and you know hydrogen burns with pop-up sound. It indicates that one tube is containing hydrogen gas. Now take the second test tube and bring a glowing matchstick near it. You will see it start burning. It indicates that the other test tube is containing oxygen, because you know oxygen is required for burning. So it proves that one test tube is getting hydrogen and other test tube is getting oxygen, students. Next thing which I am going to discuss with you is the decomposition of baking soda. Now what is baking soda? What is the chemical name of baking soda? Baking soda is ammonium hydrogen, sodium hydrogen carbonate, sodium hydrogen carbonate. When it is heated, then it decomposes into sodium carbonate, then carbon dioxide, and water vapors are generated during this process. And this is also very important, student, because sometime only the chemical name can be asked in the examination. What is the chemical name of baking soda, chemical name of baking, and sometimes its chemical formula can be asked, which is shown in the screen as well, student. So chemical formula, chemical name is also very important. So that is there, and the chemical reaction is also important, which I have discussed with you. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, when it is heated, it gives you sodium carbonate, water vapors are generated, and carbon dioxide gas is released during this process. Next thing which I am going to discuss with you, the next reaction is the decomposition of potassium chlorate. When potassium chlorate, its formula is also shown on your screen, student. When potassium chlorate is heated, it get converted, it decompose into calcium chloride, and evolution of hydrogen takes place. Hydrogen is released during this process. So that is there, student. Next thing which I am going to discuss with you is the displacement reaction. What is displacement reaction, student? You know, in a substance what happen, active element can displace the less active element. So this type of reaction is known as displacement reaction, where active element displaces the less reactive element from the substance. This is known as displacement reaction. Now for how you will see, how you will find that which element is more reactive and which is less reactive, for that one series I have shown on your screen, and the element which is on the top of the this series, this is also known as activity series. The top of the element will displace the other element which comes below it. For example, you are having potassium. Potassium is on the top, so it can displace calcium. Similarly, calcium, after calcium you are getting magnesium. So calcium will displace magnesium. In this way displacement will takes place. I will discuss with you one by one, 2 or 3 reactions I am going to discuss with you. So let us start. Now student, I will discuss with you displacement of hydrogen from water by the active metals. Like you are having potassium is there, sodium is there, calcium is there. When they react with cold water, hydrogen gas is evolved. For example, sodium react with water, you are getting sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas is there. Similarly, potassium react with water, you are getting potassium hydroxide, hydrogen gas is released. Similarly, calcium, it react with water, you are getting calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas is released during this process. But magnesium is a less reactive metal as compared to these metals, so it do not react with cold water. Instead, you will have to take steam in place of cold water. So when magnesium burning ribbon is brought near the steam, in that case it burns and it produces magnesium oxide plus hydrogen gas is released, and this process, in this process you will hear the pop-up sound. Pop-up sound is there because hydrogen gas get burns, and as it burns it create a pop-up sound will be there. So that is there, student. Now there are certain other metals like zinc is there, like iron is there. When they react with acid, then again displacement of hydrogen take place. For example, zinc react with hydrochloric acid, you will be getting zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Similarly, iron react with sulfuric acid, you will be getting iron sulfate, and plus you will be having hydrogen gas will be there. So that is there, student. In this way the hydrogen gas get displaced, and it all depend upon the activity of the metal. Most reactive metal, most active metal will displace hydrogen easily, and less reactive metal will displace the hydrogen with drastic condition, like as I discussed with the steam in case of magnesium, and from hydrochloric acid in case of iron and zinc, students. So that is there, student. This chapter is quite wide chapter, so I will just discuss this chapter in 3 parts. So this is the second part, and in the next session I will discuss with the remaining part of this chapter with you student. I hope you all are safe at your home and you are following all the COVID precautions at your home, and you are awareing your parents as well about this pandemic, and you will be cautious about whatever you are doing in your daily life. And from my side, that's all student. Thank you for watching VK Voice. And one more information student, I have made a YouTube video of Christmas celebration which we just celebrated in school, and that video is also available on my YouTube channel. You can see, and the link is also shown on your screen. You can see it student, because it will energize you because you are in your houses only, and that will give you some more energy, more motivation. And with these words, I just stop over here. Thank you for watching VK Voice.